So, I think SK has said it all. I think we might as well just wrap up and go for the cocktails. Uh, but yeah, since they're not ready yet, we'll try to entertain you. So I'm actually not a lawyer, and I'm a technologist by profession. But throughout my career, I've been closely involved in sort of the intersection between technology and law. And so I've become very interested in that overlap. And AI, has created a new Wild West kind of situation when it comes to the intersection of technology and law. And it's almost everything that you knew is up for grabs all over again. And the clear guidelines and guardrails are yet to be established in this very rapidly evolving space. So I'll just touch on some of the key, some sort of points that we can use as a starting point for discussion. This is hardly comprehensive, but it's just a starting point, I would say. Am I supposed to point somewhere? Oh, okay, got it. Yeah, sorry. So I just want to start with 3 quotes that I read in just the last few days that really encapsulate where we are in this field. So the first one, I'll just read the highlighted one. It came in Nature because there was a paper that came out 2 days ago that basically said that AGI is already here, right? So AGI is artificial general intelligence. It's already here. And they made a strong case as to why that is the case. And so what is interesting about this is that, one, this is, according to them, and it's an arguable point, it is the most significant scientific and technological revolution in human history, right? One can be skeptical about it, but if you really think about it, it may well end up becoming that. Because it's really about thinking, it's about intelligence, it's about analyzing, it's about organizing the world. And the second point they made is that this is happening at such an accelerated pace that the timeline is compressed beyond any historical precedent and could be accelerating. Just to give you an idea about acceleration, in just the last 2 days, Google announced that they're going to invest $185 billion of capex, and Amazon today said it was going to be $200 billion, okay? So, it's hard to get your head around these numbers. They're so huge, and that's why it's accelerating. The second point I want to make is that, this came out of a very technical paper and from the ACM transactions on intelligent systems, that the real discontinuity is not in the models. It's in us, in the speed at which our governance, our ethics, and our institutions can adapt to the pace of machine evolution. So if there's one takeaway I would argue is the most important today, it is that point. And the third, which sort of is the other bookend to this, is that the promise of personal AI assistance rests on a dangerous assumption that we can trust systems we haven't made trustworthy. We can't do that. So this is sort of the framing of where things are today. Now, just coming to ethical AI, I just wanted to put up a sort of a framework to think about it. Basically, ethical AI encompasses many different facets of this technology. And a lot of these are not, how to create responsible AI, in my view, is too important a job to be left to the technologists. Okay, this is the key point I want to leave with this audience. The technologists are like a runaway train going at, and it may end up becoming a train wreck for all of us. And it's really important for those in the legal community as well as in the social sciences to start moving forward quickly to understand and put some guardrails around it and get a seat at this table. Right now, if you don't move fast enough, you're not at the table. So, uh, there are a few things that I think are very critical. One of those is safety. I mean, is this technology that we're all beginning to use safe? Meaning, can we rely on it? Is it honest? Is it trustworthy? And at the end of the day, if something goes wrong, who's accountable for this? So accountability is an open question in this field today, and I think you. This is one of the major. It's an elephant in the room that I think the legal community really needs to get its arms around. The second is transparency. Half the time we don't know what's going on. Not even half. 90% of the time we don't know what's going on behind these AI systems. We don't know how they arrived at these recommendations. What was the logic used? What was the data sets used? No one knows. And at the end of the day, how much of this is simply reproducing unfair biases that we as a society know that exist and have historically tried to counteract through legislation and legal frameworks. Those don't exist. Those guardrails don't exist in these kinds of recommendations. And the third is data governance, which is, at the end of the day, the raw material for AI is data. And there's so many questions around that data, which is whose data, who has access to that data, what are they doing with that data, and so on and so forth. And so these, in my view, these questions need to be asked and really taken on as like a mission critical task by the legal community in every major country, because the answers may not necessarily be the same. But that doesn't mean you don't leverage prior work being done elsewhere, but I think this is something that's going to be very, very critical, especially in a country like India where there's like tremendous amounts of data. So with that, I'll hand it over.